black-eyed bastard knew that when my blade stilled the Empress's heart and delivered her daughter to the Lord Regent's men, everything would fall to pieces. He watched me do it anyway. And now the world's gone mad. Plague grinds the city down. Corruption rots. A mad killer roams the streets by night, seeking revenge. The overseers have stormed my hideout in the flooded district. And I'm in a strange duel with a mad witch named Delilah for the fate of the Empire. I'd say I was being punished, but I know that the world doesn't punish wicked people. We make our choices and take what comes. And the rest is void. I can't say I wasn't warned. The men are recovering well from the attack, but they don't understand the danger they're in. My mother warned me never to make an enemy of a witch. Corvo, here to settle our debt. You understand, I won't make this easy for you. What is it?
Thomas has returned with the information you requested. He's waiting for you below. Begging your pardon, Dowd, but I don't think it's safe to leave these overseers holed up in the refinery.
It's a new game now. They know where to find us. We just have to make them afraid to.
I found Lizzie Stride. Getting her to lend us her boat will be a bit complicated, however. She's in Coldridge. From what I hear, they've got enough on her to hold her for about 1,000 years.
Coldridge. We can use this. We'll get her out. And Stride will have to pay back the favor. We'll have our transport.
Yes, sir. Your tools have been cleaned and placed in the chest over there. I'll wait here until you're ready to leave. Is it time to go, sir?
Delilah doesn't leave Brigmore Manor anymore. She doesn't have to. Which means I have to come to her. The manor's upriver, far out past the quarantine line. I'll need a ship. I've lived in Dunwall's underworld a long time. I know the players. Gang leaders, madams, corrupt officials. But what I need is a smuggler who knows the river, someone I can trust. It's a reflection of Dunwall, or perhaps myself. That after all these years, the best choice I have is Lizzie Stride. And Lizzie Stride is in jail. This should get me in the front door at least. Looks like I'll need to check in with those guards by the gate.
Overseer. About time, Overseer. We sent for you hours ago.
There was a problem with the water lock.
Fine. Listen up. The incident took place in the interrogation room. Cross the yard and keep going straight. Anything else is off limits. Understand? Don't go exploring. Don't speak to the prisoners. We're not here to listen to you preach. Don't forget you're in Coldridge now, not the Abbey. We asked you here for one reason.
I'll be gone before you know it. Guard! Open the gate. Stupid cut. This mask won't fool an arc pylon.
We're sending 3 men to the firing squad, and no one knows what actually happened.
Didn't they do it?
Hamrick Drink said he chose a bad day to sleep in. Morris lost his nerve at the sewer gates. Neither of them knew anything. They died to satisfy the Lord Regent's office.
And Officer Thorpe?
Thorpe slipped him the key. Everyone knows that. He got weak. They paid him off, but he couldn't tell us who it was. And believe me, he wanted to by the end.
You've seen Corvo train, haven't you? Once he had the key, there was no stopping him. And the way he went off that bridge, how do you stop a man who'll make a jump like that? Like he doesn't care.
Or like he's more than human.
You think he's
I think we played that overseer noise for a reason. I think there's more happening here than any of us.
Better make a pass
to the Lord Regent's office.
They should just pay the guards more.
Is she strapped in right? Good. Doesn't look like much, does she? Comfortable? All right, we'll get this done. Let's start with how you got into Dunwall Tower in the first place. Was it one of the servants that let you in? One of the guards? Nothing? All right. Corporal, use the hammer. That's right, the smaller one. Can't really tell if she felt that. Don't want to break anything. Let's try again. How did you... Wait. You hear a kind of ringing in your ears? What's happening to her face? Is she going to... Oh no! Oh no! Shoot her! Shoot her!
Security measures yet? Yes, there's no doubt.
This disguise won't help me if I'm caught in a restricted wing.
They don't hesitate to kill their own.
Why did you save me?
I'm looking for Elizabeth Stride, a prisoner. A gang leader out of Draper's Ward.
The whole place heard her come in. She's in cell C-28. It's on the very top level. You can check the logbook in the guard station between sections C and D.
This controls all the cell doors. She's in rough shape. Wake up, Lizzie.
I'm not telling you shit. Wait, who?
Dowd.
Is that right? Whoever sent you, I'll pay double.
I've come to break you out. You can owe me the favor.
What kind of favor?
Doesn't matter. You'll be dead in another day here.
What kind?
It's just a boat trip. Upriver. Past the blockades.
Then you're out of luck. My boat, the Undine, now it belongs to someone else. My second-in-command double-crossed me and took it. A little shit named Edgar Wakefield.
It's a situation I'm familiar with. Can you walk?
Get me out of this damn thing and I'll fly. I can pay you to get rid of Wakefield.
It'll be my pleasure. Come on.
I'll just get my tiara. Down. I think
I'll have to carry her out.
The Sokolov radial interdiction device Orc pylon is for use only by personnel trained in proper imprinting.
She's beaten, but not dead. See that her wounds get attention.
It will be done. All quiet, sir. Ready to go.
Let's go. Dunwall is changing fast. 6 months ago, Draper's Ward was where Dunwall's rich and well-born strolled and shopped and tried to be seen. The plague burned through it in days. Today it's a battleground where 2 street gangs fight over the spoils. The Hatters and Lizzie's gang, the Dead Eels. Lizzie Stride was the boss until Edgar Wakefield betrayed her and took her place. And her riverboat. It's the kind of thing that happens every day in Dunwall. I don't judge him. I've done worse myself. But I need that boat. Edgar Wakefield and I have business.
The textile mill used to run off a water wheel before the canal went dry. It started up again recently, and whatever the Hatters did to get it working has enraged the Dead Eels. They're fighting in the streets.
Bring out the geezer!
We've been here 8 years. We ain't leaving.
When's your old man coming out to fight?
We've been making something for you, little eels!
What's the matter? Too much knitting to do?
Crawl back to the river! You ain't a real gang! You're just a bunch of mudlarks!
Come on and fight! Or are you too busy making dresses?
Somebody choke on that! Come closer, bastard! Cry for mommy, you little piss pot! That's what happens when you tangle with a dead eel. Huh? Someone wants to kick you. What? Pass me by.
I can... Who are you? Are you with her?
With her?
Delilah. Are you with her? No, but you don't have any roses.
What can you tell me about Delilah?
I used to make clothing for the Caldwins, you see. I adored them, especially young, precocious Emily. She was such a delight. Did you ever meet the Empress? She was so special. And I was able to count her among my friends. I had a lock of hair from young Emily, a keepsake given to me by the family when my hands grew too stiff and clumsy to work the needle. I have treasured it so.
And Delilah?
She visited me here. Such a surprise to see her, all grown up. So serious. Did you know she was once a playmate of Jessamine's? Before she was Empress, when they were both little. I thought it was a cordial visit at first, but it turned frightening.
What happened?
She made things come out of the shadows, long and grasping. I can still feel the cold on my neck. I sound mad, don't I? Perhaps I am. She questioned me and left me propped in the corner like a bolt of cloth. I couldn't move for 3 nights while she made the horrid markings you see now. Then she stole my only keepsake, my lock of hair from dear, sweet Emily. Ah, Emily, where are you? Damn that Corvo, and damn Delilah. Emily, she was such a sweet girl.
All these rats crawling all over everywhere.
Wakefield's a hard man, but he's not as fun as Lizzie. Lizzie enjoyed it more.
Yeah, even Lizzie never drowned victims in a sack. You can still see him squirming for air.
Yeah. How's he gonna top that? Who would have thought? Bridget Montaigne on a boat and done.
Edgar Wakefield is on board the Undine. He's put all of the eels on alert since Lizzie's rumored to have escaped from Coldridge. He's expecting her. You will undoubtedly be a surprise to him.
There's the boat.
Blow off.
Wakefield's probably keeping himself below decks. Whatever I do to him, it will be a mercy compared to what Lizzie has in mind.
Leave, we're missing the foil party. Luxury. Sitting next to the... Or... Al, at least.
Wakefield sealed himself in the cargo hold of the Undine. Smuggling ships like this one often have a hatch underneath for dumping contraband if they get caught. Perhaps the Undine is no different.
this would work. Lizzie's boat is smaller than I remember. Time to signal Lizzie.
Lizzie Stride is assuming control of the dead eels now. She's ordered them to give you safe passage.
Your friend Edgar Wakefield set me up to be taken by the City Watch, and you followed him. Took his orders. But you know what? I forgive you. All of you. I'm filled with love. But the following people each owe me a finger. Logan, Douglas, Bang Bang, Ferris, Pigface, the Bakers, and Annabelle. Shit. 2 from you, Annabelle. Have a good night. That piece of garbage, Edgar. I'm still living with his incompetence. He let the Hatters cripple the Undine.
Ship seems fine to me.
They took the engine coil. We're dead in the water.
What is it? Can we make a new one?
They don't make them anymore, not for an engine like the Undine's. We'll have to get it back.
The geezer still leads the Hatter gang, right? I'll pay him a visit.
It won't be that easy. There's a snag.
Always is. What's this one?
The geezer's about 100 years old by now. He's got it rigged so that if he dies, the whole place gets gassed. So they're real careful around him. Got him a nurse and everything. Maybe you can cut a deal for that engine coil. Turn on the charm. One of the Hatters gave me their door password in exchange for keeping the rest of his fingers. It's whalebone. I never got to use it on account of the gas. And being in jail.
Just be ready to move when I get back.
Dowd, this is the second time now. I see something, or someone, out of the corner of my eye. But when I turn, they're gone. Someone is watching us.
Quiet in the city. Almost like it used to be.
Got it. What's the password?
Whalebone.
Come in, Hatter.
Sir, the Hatters are using the textile machines to make shrouds for the plague dead.
Now we know why they took the engine coil.
The man who runs the Hatters is more cunning than he looks. He can flood this place with a toxic gas. In time, it'll eat through our air filters. You may have to make a deal.
Through here. The Empress did. She had Corvo Otano with her. They weren't wearing no clothes.
Keep your hat on. I was just asking.
Just because you're in charge of the gate, it don't mean the rest of us are idiots.
Yeah? Well, since you're such a genius, it ought to be real easy to see who it was. So go check it out.
Fine. I don't know why you're worried about nothing.
Dowd, didn't think I'd ever see you again. After you helped us escape the slaughterhouse, I got a job here running the looms. They got us working around the clock, making shrouds for all of the plague victims. Kinda makes me sick. But they have to come from somewhere, I guess.
How do I get into the engine room?
It's down in the basement, but you can't get in without the combination.
And where would I find that?
Nurse Trimble. He takes care of the geezer. But I'd bet my broom handle that's only half the story. See, the geezer's supposed to be the boss, but Trimble never lets anyone near him. Claims it's for his health. I'm sure the geezer knows the combination too, except Fat Chance talking to him alone. Only time Nurse Trimble leaves is to check the lab equipment he's got upstairs.
Thanks for the help.
Wakefield's miscalculated badly. I predicted this would happen, of course. A man like Wakefield knows which end of a knife is for stabbing, but not much else. What's that? Oh, stop complaining, old man. I'm giving you a legacy. What were the Hatters before I arrived? I'll tell you. A shadow of their former selves. The butt of numerous jokes, in fact. Why did the Hatter piss in his own hat? What did the Hatter do with his last bullet? And so on. The answers aren't worth repeating. Leadership. That's what was missing. What with the embarrassing defeat at the hands of the Bottle Street Boys of all things. There now. You mustn't become agitated. You'll inflame your arteries, which will only cause you unneeded agony. But only if you promise to behave yourself. No? Ah, that reminds me. I must see Jerome about getting more Oxrush.
My name's Dowd. I'm looking for Lizzie Stride's missing engine coil. I'm giving you a chance to make a deal.
Yes, sir. Very reasonable offer. Geezer here says you're in luck. We only need that engine coil because someone shut off the flow that turns our water wheel. I sent men into the sewers to restore the flow, and not one of them came back. But what stopped them won't be a problem for the famous Dowd, will it? When the water flows, I'll give you the engine coil. Here's the key to the sewer entrance. And it's a pleasure to do business with you, Mr. Dowd. The Hatters will behave themselves, as long as you keep your end of the bargain, Dowd.
I can't.
Please don't disturb him. Our chief needs his rest.
If you...
Dowd, I have Mr. Hat on very strict bed rest. I'll have to ask you to leave him alone.
Our sister thinks she's auditioning for the Dunwall Opera. More like the Golden Cat. She caught that Hatter easy enough.
That fool. What if Dowd comes this way? He won't fall for a pretty face and a few tears.
wants us out of the way when her little ritual is all said and done.
Why?
Don't be dense. She's afraid of us. When the change comes, she'll only want the weaker sisters nearby.
That makes no sense. Our power flows from Delilah. Without her, we'd be reduced to dancing under the moon and parlor tricks. You must be wrong.
Why else would she put us here, right in his path? I wish he'd hurry up and come already.
Hello? You're not a weeper, are you? I think I can walk if you'll just help me up.
Clever.
I almost had you downed. You could have had an easy death.
Tell me what Delilah's doing at Brigmore.
Why ask? When the change comes, you won't even notice. You'll never even know how we won. But when Delilah sits the secret throne, our reign will never end.
That's enough.
The gangs are at each other's throats. Dowd is mired here. You'll have the time you need. And the portrait of the girl is...
Dowd. Lurk told me you wouldn't give up. Even as she knelt before me and gave me all your secrets. I know what you're doing, Dowd. I know what that mark on your hand is. Just like the one on mine. I know everything you can do, and it won't matter. 4 of us chosen, but history will only remember one. Delilah.
If they remember any of us. It's done. But I don't think you'll see her men again.
Caesar says the deal seals a deal. The code is 837.
This gets me closer to Delilah's throat. So be it.
Here's a surprise. The job's done and the fighting stopped. Next you'll be running for High Overseer. Reattach that coil and we'll start upriver tonight. You are an endless source of adventure, Dowd. Please, for the honors, Dowd. Fire up the engine from the bridge. Get us underway.
The Brigmores were an ancient family, bankrupted a generation ago. Since then, the manor has housed 2 street gangs, a smuggling ring, innumerable rats, and the Brigmore witches. I'd always left them alone, but now a painter named Delilah had taken up witchcraft and formed a coven. She was trying something. A ritual. But what kind? The outsider knows. I cannot abide a mystery.
I scouted, sir. They've locked the front, and I've seen evidence of snares. Also, maybe it's nothing, but I spotted several statues of the woman Delilah. I don't know what it means, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
It means trouble. Anything else?
They're getting in and out of the house somehow, but I haven't spotted it. Sorry, sir. Best I can do.
Good enough. I'll take it from here.
Strange doings, sir. I killed a hound in the yard, and it got straight back up and went for me. I had to crush its skull, to be sure.
Don't think I'm on your side, because I'm not. If you raise a hand to any of my sisters but Delilah, you'll answer to me.
Understood. What have you got?
When her ritual's done, Emily Caldwin's mind will be gone, and Delilah will look out through her eyes the rest of her life.
And Delilah will rule as Empress.
That's up to you. I've got my money. That's all I need.
Wait. What about a way in?
Use the crypt. There's a lever that opens one of the tombs. The lever is kept in the shed. That's all I can tell you.
And I thought the flooded district was run down.
The portrait of the air, pristine. I wish you could have seen the brilliant colors. The brushwork is magnificent. Our Lady is a genius. Timsh's portrait was only the beginning. A vague mesmerism. But with Emily, Delilah will extinguish the girl's spirit and inhabit her completely. Own her skin and bones. Make her pretty teeth smile.
What will happen if Emily doesn't become Empress? Half the city thinks she's dead.
Emily Kaldwin will take the throne, don't worry. Delilah is certain. She sees things in the void you and I do not.
Why didn't she just paint the Lord Regent? He's already running the Empire.
She has her reasons. Delilah was raised in Dunwall Tower, don't forget. And besides, the Lord Regent doesn't have a chance. Without the Boyle sisters behind him paying the army, he's a walking corpse.
Please, no, don't make me eat anymore. I can't. Brother Marcus, I denounce. The Abbey, wandering gaze. Lying tongue, restless hands, roving feet. Rabbit. The seven.
What happened to you?
I denounce the oracles. The oracles. They saw. The Kaldwin girl is the key. The girl in the painting.
Where's Delilah?
I'm glad I found it. Is the painting of the void sealed?
Yes. I put the lantern back in Our Lady's studio. It'll be ready when she calls.
But I don't think Delilah will return this way. When she calls us, it will be to Dunwall Tower.
Emily Kaldwin. So Delilah wants to use Emily to become Empress.
I cannot be at Delilah's side during the final moments of the ritual. She's alone. What if something goes wrong? Who will help her? Doesn't it worry you?
You underestimate our great lady's resourcefulness. She is not alone. Not entirely.
The statues. Of course.
They're more than statues. She's put her will in them. And in the void, their power is much greater. Do not fret, sweet Tilda. Lady Delilah needs you to be strong and steadfast. This is no time to wilt like a summer daisy.
I won't. Forgive me, sister. You're right.
You have many talents, Dowd, and they've served you. Delilah's talents are quite different. She creates images, but she does more. She captures spirit. She insinuates her will into her subject, whatever it is. We're witnessing her masterpiece, and perhaps yours as well. I gave you Delilah's name, and you followed it to this moment. You see now what hangs in the balance. Emily's life, Delilah's ambition, an empire in the act of crumbling. In your long life, I've rarely seen you act with such consummate grace. I give my marks sparingly, and I don't play favorites. But I will watch this with unusual attention.
The void. Time to see what you've really got, Delilah. Would any painting work for Delilah's ritual? I wonder, this painting might be useful.
To the Empire of the Isles. Call out to you from the void. I call you with ochre from Morley, carmine beetle shells, zirconin lazurite, viridian bile. The tones of your flesh I tempered with Pandician chalk. The same loom that spun the fabric of your dresses made this canvas. I made my brushes from the hairs of your own scalp. Emily, you cannot ignore me. My power is too deep, my reach too long. Brush touches paint. Brush touches canvas. Brush touches void. And now I see you, Emily Caldwell. I breathe your breath. I can feel what you do. The I feel the cold night air of the ruin where you sleep, and the stink of the river. Image strikes the eye touches the mind touches the world. Feel your love for Corvo Atama, and your lost mother, for your caretaker, Callista. I feel your fear in the night, your hunger to learn, to become someone important. My hunger too, my fear. You are becoming mine. We are nearly finished. Close your eyes, Emily. Sleep forever. Feel the void open beneath you. Make room for me. Give in to me, Emily. Give in to me now! Paint flows. Blood flows. Life goes. Out with the old, in with the new. You've lived in his bones long enough, sweet young girl. Finished. It is complete. I am... What's happening? This is all wrong! What am I becoming? Outsider's blood? Is this some trick? Goad!
No one will ever know exactly what it took to save Emily Caldwin from a living death as Delilah's puppet. No one except the outsider, who watches everything and thinks his own dark thoughts and speaks to few in any generation. I've learned that our choices always matter. To someone. Somewhere. And sooner or later, in ways we can't always fathom, the consequences come back to us. I came from Serkonos to Dunwall as a boy, made my living as a killer, one of the few who've heard the outsider's voice. I murdered an empress, but saved her daughter, who will one day rule the Empire. Those were my choices. I'm ready for what comes. For you. I asked for my life. When I killed your empress and took her daughter, something broke inside me. Now I want nothing but to leave this city and fade from the memory of those who reside here. I've had enough killing. So my life is in your hands. Make your choice.
You make an eloquent plea for a man with innocent blood on his hands. It's a shame Corvo doesn't know the real story, isn't it? How in these last days you passed through Coldridge Prison like a shadow, dared the tangles of Dunwall's underworld, and walked out unscathed, outwitted one of the greatest witches in a generation, all with consummate care and skill. How you saved Emily Caldwin, daughter of the Empress, first of her name, and no one will ever know. But how does it end for Dowd, the hired killer, the murderer, the savior of the Empire? It's up to Corvo now.